rabbi had prepared a plan for the afternoon. And where did I put my copies? Here we go. You are receiving a story that I will read. And we will have a little conversation about it. While we're reading this story, keep in mind this painting. In September 1970, Barton's Continental Chocolate Shop took out a full-page ad in the New York Times. Barton's Candy was founded in New York by a chocolatier, Stephen Klein, a Viennese Jewish refugee. Barton's commissioned my father, James Grashow, to make a print of Abraham, the first Jew, for the ad. It was a powerful and beautiful woodcut. Alongside the image, the ad included legends of Abraham's fight against idolatry. The text concluded, Monday, September 23rd is Rosh Hashanah, and we are reminded of Abraham once again. The shofar, or ram's horn, blown during the synagogue services, is a symbol of the ram which Abraham offered as a sacrifice in place of his son Isaac. His willingness to sacrifice even his own son is further proof of Abraham's undying devotion to the Lord, one Lord, the creator of heaven and earth. My father made an edition of 100 prints, signed and numbered. At the time, my father was 27 years old and my mother was 22. A Swedish art dealer saw the ad in the newspaper and fell in love with the work. Someone put him in contact with my father, and the dealer came to my parents' New York apartment on 89th and Riverside Drive. The dealer was a very handsome and charismatic man. He was tall, with salt and pepper gray hair. He absolutely loved the print and said he wanted to represent my father in Europe. He would take the edition and would send my father the money. My parents kept one print. We were very naive and young, my mother said. We were very trusting. We let him take it. We took a chance, my father said. As the dealer was walking out of the apartment, my father admired his keychain, which had a little fold-out scissors on it. The dealer gave the little scissors to my father and left, and my parents never heard from him again. My father went on to have an incredible career. His prints have appeared regularly in the New York Times and virtually every well-known periodical and publication throughout the country. He created the poster for the centennial celebration of the Statue of Liberty, the album covers for Jethro Tull and the Yardbirds, and in 2012, a film about his work called The Cardboard Barini aired on PBS and is still available on Netflix. His sculptures range from large environmental installations to small, contained worlds. When I became a rabbi, my parents thought it was appropriate that Abraham should live in my study. Eventually, I moved to a congregation in Los Angeles. My father said whenever he would visit and see the print there, he wondered whatever happened to the rest of the edition. 47 years after the Swedish dealer had walked out of my parents' apartment, my father received the following email from Norway. Dear Mr. Grashow, my father was in the art business in the early 70s. He passed away a couple of years ago. Now my mother also passed, and we found a series of Abraham when cleaning out their estate. There's a series of 100, and we've got lots of them. We are 3 siblings that live in Sweden, Norway, and California. We would love to have your input and look forward to hearing from you. Best regards, Catherine, Krister, and Charlotte. My parents were stunned. They wrote back immediately. Hello, and thank you for reaching out. The answers This answers a mystery that started 47 years ago. Your father visited us in Manhattan and looked at the prints. He ultimately wanted the addition of Abraham, promising distribution and payment. We remember distinctly he left with the prints and handed me a keychain with fold-out scissors. We never heard from him again. We were very naive at the time and often laughed at how foolish we were at the time to let so much go for what turned out to be only a keychain. In those days, no internet to search, no Google, a major loss. We were not even sure of the spelling of his name. I would personally love to have some of Abraham's prints because your father had all of them. The art dealer's 3 children, now ages 57, 60, and 62, were mortified. They said their father had been in the art business, but for only about 3 years, and then he had become a minister. They had loved the print. In fact, it was framed and hanging over the mantel of their childhood home. They had grown up with it. They had no idea there were all of these copies in their father's belongings. When they found the prints, they researched my father on the internet and saw the extent of his work. They had contacted him to find out what they were worth. The 3 siblings wanted to return the prints. They made an incredible decision. They wanted to repair their father's wrongdoing, and they wanted to do it in person. 2 of the siblings lived in Norway, in the farmlands. Only one lived in Santa Barbara, California. They arranged a date and flew into New York and took a train to Westport, Connecticut, where my father met them. From the minute the 3 siblings stepped off the train on April 14, 2018, with their big battered suitcase, they were beaming. They met my father with smiles and big hugs. My father drove them to my parents' home, also my childhood home in West Reading, and they went into his studio. There they opened the suitcase. Wrapped in a yellow and white quilt was the original cardboard box, and inside were 87 prints. As soon as the box was opened, my mother burst into tears. It was a moment of true redemptive teshuvah. It was a literal return. Afterwards, the siblings and my parents shared a toast of champagne and a lunch. The siblings kept repeating how much they wanted to make it right. They didn't understand what happened, but they knew they wanted to make it right. At the end of a wonderful afternoon, my father drove them back to the train. It had been a beautiful, warm, sunny day. The next day was freezing cold and terribly windy. It was as if the skies had opened and shone upon this meaningful reunion. My parents received an email the next morning. Thank you for a fantastic day together yesterday. Your hospitality, a delicious lunch, and showing all your works made our day. This day will stay in our memories for all our lives, and we are so happy that we were able to correct one of our father's mistakes. We are so thankful. Love, Catherine, Krista, and Charlotte. Friends, our family would love for this meaningful print to find a home in synagogues and clergy studies. We have 87 signed and numbered. If you are interested, please contact me and we will send you a print for the price of shipping and handling. We never thought we would see these prints again, and they returned for a special reason. They don't want to remain packed away. Please contact me, and we would love for Abraham, the first Jew, to find a home with you. Rabbi Zoe Klein, Miles, Temple Isaiah, Los Angeles. I hadn't read that ahead of time. So this is the print. And all of the paintings did find homes, and quickly. Note that this story is called a teshuvah story. But teshuvah is an interesting term here. Who did the deed that called for teshuvah? This is the study question and answer part. So who did the deed that needed teshuvah? The Father. Did he make teshuvah? Okay. Does it work when it's done by his children after death? Is it teshuvah? The question was, what does it mean? Does it work?
It works for the artist. It didn't work for the father.
For the dealer, yeah.
But the father, when we hear the beginning of the story and the guy walks out of the apartment with these, we think, okay, he's going to make a fortune. There's no way he's taking this money from this poor artist. But he didn't. He redeemed himself by becoming a minister. So that was a kind of reparation.
That's an interesting thought.
So what happened to the other 12 copies?
Yeah.
And I think I think he did say they had one, there was one framed at the minister's house. He may have sold some of them. Right.
They kept one.
So. Right. So we're not sure what happened to a few of them anyway.
It's not exactly teshuva because the children didn't do anything wrong, but they avoided doing something wrong by bringing them back to the right.
Right.
And there's a place in the Torah which says the sins of the father visit on the children. Right. So they inherited the sins, they should also inherit the ability to do teshuva.
Okay. So does this feel like teshuva?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why? Well, I think you kind of. Does anybody have any other whys? Why does that feel like teshuva?
Well, besides the literal translation that they returned something.
There you go.
Well, there's this sense that the parents have this part of them that now has been completed. That this was a deed that was done to them a long time ago. But this was a deed that was done to them a long time ago, and so they now can. They got closure on it.
Yeah.
So that's what
That's why it feels like teshuva.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the point of the knife or the scissor? The scissor.
I think the point is that's all they got throughout this 100 copies.
Maybe he felt there was value in that. And nobody else. I thought what was going to happen was they were going to discover there was something in that that was of amazing value.
Yeah, they never said whether they gave back the scissors.
You don't know anything about the father like that.
No.
I mean, maybe he got sick and forgot they were up there, and so you don't know that he intentionally was wrong.
Right.
He might have had great intentions when he started.
Right.
It was a bad art dealer, so.
Right.
So as somebody said earlier, he made teshuva by becoming a minister.
Right.
Or he funded his studies with the sale of
And he was.
No, it was later than that. It was 1970?
United States.
It was in 1970. It was when the print was
So they were going,
originated.
well, sort of.
well, you don't know their age.
No, the print was made in 1970 when the parents were 27 and 22. So,
That was the art dealer hiding.
well, it was after, it wasn't Nazi Germany anymore. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
So we could have been hiding from something.
Exactly.
Yeah. Have you ever been on the giving or receiving end of a genuine apology made by someone other than the person who did the offense? How did you feel? Yeah.
So I was at Berkeley College Music this summer, and there were a lot of international students, which was really fun, like getting to meet and be introduced to new cultures. So I was chatting with someone from Ukraine, and we got into politics a little bit, and I just felt the need to apologize on behalf of our country. Everything's wrong, that's funny.
So you apologized. I like that. How did they feel about that?
I mean, we both laughed about it, because, like, obviously, there's nothing I can do, and there was nothing she could do.
Right.
We were kind of like, well, this sucks.
Anybody else have anything? Bobby?
My aunt blamed me for something that was not my fault. And I was very hurt by it. And after she passed away, her son came to me at her funeral and said, she really realized it wasn't her fault, and she really, really put it through.
Okay, so that didn't make you feel any better.
No, it didn't.
Okay.
They probably didn't do it.
He may have felt like he was doing his teshuvah on behalf of his mother. But it wasn't as well received as the art dealer and the rabbi. Note that the kids didn't know that they had to do teshuvah first. They were just looking to see what the prints were worth. The Grashos said that they wanted some of the prints. Note that the kids immediately arranged to get all of the prints to them, or at least all of what they had. Meanwhile, note what the Grashos did when they had the prints. Teshuvah can change the world.
How does Zoe Klein fit into this?
Hmm?
How does Zoe Klein fit into this?
She's one of the children, one of the artist's children. Her father was the artist.
Because I know Zoe. Zoe was at my kid's wedding, and she did a piece of art for them. Well, her present to them was...
Wow.
Yeah, Zoe did a piece of art at their wedding for them. It was hanging in their home. That was her gift to them.
Wow. That's amazing. So, this is the father's art. Yeah.
People dancing at a wedding.
Okay, people dancing at a wedding. All right. We continue our service on page 266. Where did I put this? On page 266, we read responsively, "The ancients of Israel live within us, and God remembers the covenant.
As for me, this is my covenant with you. You shall be a founder of multitude of nations.
A covenant of heart imprinted in flesh, fathers and sons consecrated to God's service.
This is my covenant of which you shall keep between me and your offspring after you. Every male among you shall be circumcised.
A covenant in time, a sign of our devotion, candles lit by mothers and daughters.
People of Israel shall keep Shabbat, celebrating Shabbat through all their generations, and for all time.
A covenant freely chosen of sacred obligations. A covenant of lifetime love that binds all Israel to the source of good.
I will establish you forever. I betroth you to me with righteousness and justice, with goodness and compassion.
The ancients of Israel live within us, and we remember the covenant.
It was not with our ancestors that the Eternal made this covenant, but with us, who are living, every one of us who is here today.
All that God has spoken, we will do faithfully, for the covenant lives within us.
For the mountains be moved, and the hills be shaken, but my faithful love shall never leave you, and my covenant of friendship shall stand unshaken.
Together, Baruch Atah Adonai, Zocher Habrit v'ne'aman v'virito, v'kayam le'amro. Source of blessing, eternal our God, you remember the covenant, keep faith with the covenant, and sustain your promise forever. Page 268. Please rise. Tekiah, Shavadim Teruah, Tekiah, Tekiah, Shavadim, Tekiah, Tekiah, Teruah, Tekiah. Please be seated. The prophet said, "Cry aloud, lift up your voice like a shofar." This is the meaning of the verse. See yourself as a shofar, an instrument of the divine. Do not take pride in your virtue or the power of your deeds. With every mitzvah you do, every act of intellect, goodness, and love, God's Spirit breathes through you. I would like to call up Nina to open the ark, please. Page 276, please rise. A precious teaching I have given you, my Torah. Do not forsake it. A tree of life to those who hold it fast. All who embrace it know happiness. Its ways are ways of pleasantness, and all its paths are peace. Take us back, Adonai. Let us come back to you. Renew our time, the days of old. Please remain standing as we continue with the last shofar service, shofar rot. Page 283, please. I know that poverty must cease. I know this through the brokenness and conflict in my heart. I know that protest is my most prophetic act, and the world is longing for a new soul, a new healing moment. I know that when we awaken to our origins and become truly human, we bring hope to the children and to the earth. I feel called today to bring the people together, to break the bread and tell the story. I feel called today to be a mystic in action, aligned to the dynamics of the universe. I feel called today to give my gift, to listen to the heartbeat of the broken world, to heal the fragmentation of the people and planet. I feel called today to celebrate the wonder of creation and respond to the sacredness and the challenges of life. I feel called today to participate in the work of my time, to fall in love, to feel at home. I feel called today to be inflamed with enduring hope, to be at one with the universe, to be touched by God. I feel called today to compose a new paragraph for life. Baruch atah Adonai, shomea kol tzara'at Amo Yisrael berachamim. Blessed are you in our lives, Adonai. You hear with love the shofar, true voice of your people Israel. Tekiah, Shavadim Teruah, Tekiah, 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 Shavadim, Tekiah, Tekiah, Teruah, Tekiah Gedolah. Please remain standing as we continue with Aleinu, and let's just open.
Thank you.
Thank you. time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when lies and bigotry shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. So may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your dominion be established on earth, and the word of your prophet be fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever. On page 290, if I can let you go as trees let go their leaves, so casually one by one, if I can come to know what they do know, that fall is a release, the consummation, then fear of time and uncertain fruit would not distemper the great lucid skies, this strange autumn, mellow and acute. If I can take the dark with open eyes and call it seasonal, not harsh or strange, for love itself may need a time of sleep, and tree-like stand unmoved before the change, lose what I lose to keep what I can keep. The strong root still alive under the snow, love will endure if I can let go.
There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we love, their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done.
Our thoughts turn to loved ones whom death has taken from us in recent days, and those who died at the season in past years. Our hearts open as well to the wider circle of loss in our community, and wherever grief touches the human family, Zichronam Livracha, may their memories be a blessing in this new year and always. We rise as a community, as is your tradition, and recite the Mourner's Kaddish, page 292. There are some words that are inserted for the holiday season. V'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yama divra chirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'v'imechon, v'chayei techol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehi shemei Rabbah mevorach le'olam le'omei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei tekudusha b'richu le'ela u'le'ela mikol b'chata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechamata za'amiram v'yama v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru. Amen.
May the source of peace bestow peace on all who mourn, and may we be a source of comfort to all who are bereaved. Amen. Oh, say shalom v'ramav, say shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'yiveru. Amen.
We have a couple things to continue to finish our service today. Please be seated. We don't have announcements today. We have Ein Kelohinu. Oh, do you have an announcement? Announcement?
I don't know if any of you, I know some of you have been up here on the side of leading service. Some of you have done some readings and things like that. Some of you have come up here and led services with the music. Usually you get a little warning. And you practice it for a long time, and you panic, and you test it out with 27 different people. Is this okay? You know what I'm talking about, right? Well, at 7:30, I got a phone call from Ellen saying, Rabbi, I'm doing services today. Just wanted to let you know. And so she had about an hour and a half notice, something like that she was doing services. Which is more than she had the last year when she covered for me. I don't know if anybody's ever thanked you publicly. I don't know if that counts as an announcement. But I want to announce publicly, thank you. Thank you from the congregation for stepping in on no notice. I know what it's like, and it's different when I step in on no notice. I've trained for 5 years how to do this. But to come in as a lay wigger and to come in and with no notice, and we didn't actually talk ahead of time about know, as a community, we can count on you to do this for us, and I just wanted to say publicly, thank you. So if we had no other announcements, I thought that was important enough to say. Now we can do Ein Eloheinu. There is none like our God. You may stand if you want.
Ein Eloheinu is on page 299.
Try not to beat up on your corner.
Okay, I can't fill in for another soprano. I am a soprano.
Ein Eloheinu, Ein Adonenu, Ein Kemotenu, Ein Kemoshienu, Mi Eloheinu, Mi Adonenu, Mi Kemotenu, Mi Kemoshienu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Hoshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu.
Which way am I here? Yep. And I do have to say in response is for recognizing, but I also have to say thank you to Rabbi for being relatively outlined and clear and somewhat, it was mostly there. So I had something to follow. Yehi ratzon milfanecha Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu shetchadesh aleinu shana tova u'mituka. Our God and God of our ancestors, eternal God of all generations, may your presence in our lives this new year, renew our spirits and renew our strength. May it be a good year. May it be a sweet year. And may it be a healthy year. Please rise. Tekiah Gedolah.
No, we don't sing first. No, we sing second.
No, I have a Tekiah Gedolah first.
Okay.
Tekiah Gedolah. L'shana tova tikatevu v'techatemu. May you be inscribed and sealed for a good year.
L'shana tova tikatevu, l'shana tova tikatevu, tikatevu, v'tekatevu. Shana tova.
For the blessings in the offering.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to take my cable off the last piece. Oh no, it was my and I was like, oh, I'm stopping. I was like, he's in a different computer. Oh, I gotta do a problem. Go. Yeah. So I didn't get home until 7 last night, and by that time I thought, by 8:30, I'm like, I'm done.
Shall we join for these shorts?
Look at this.
Looks yummy.
Grace was here.
Yes, Grace is here.
Thank you, Grace.